Today, please don't make us into Sonic OCs. This is CheckPoint.
Best one yet.
You picked a wild one today, Paul. Good job.
Hey everybody, how's it doing? How
I just
you doing?
realized you sound. I'm sorry, because maybe it's just us. To me, you sound a little blown out.
Oh,
hope
I
it's not for
apologize.
real.
Maybe I'm too loud.
It's okay, Paul.
It's
Oh,
like
my
when we
mic
go
is-
live and it's like I'm doing a normal voice, and it turns out I'm not. So yeah,
Your normal is way higher than
it
everyone
really
else's
is
normal.
Yeah.
Let me adjust my sound settings. In the meantime, welcome to the show.
That's ChillPoint.
I'll talk nice and softly while I adjust my sound settings.
What are you drinking today, Chad?
Yeah, chat, what are you drinking?
I've got milk tea.
Copycat.
You
How's
started
that?
it.
Is that better?
You're almost a little low, but you sound pretty good overall.
I mean, we can make him higher in our ears.
That's true,
As
yeah.
long as he's okay for the chat.
Yeah, I can.
Right?
Yeah.
Like it's he was peaking.
I have little knobs I can twist.
When Windows decided to turn my my mic gain all the way up to the top.
Did you update recently too?
Yeah.
I wish they would address that. You think they would have had a lot of complaints by now?
They did, but they can't hear the complaints. They're like, we keep getting these complaints, and they're just. So I don't know what's going on. So today, it is ChillPoint for July 17th, which is today. Although technically, I guess this is the ChillPoint for the CheckPoint that went up yesterday. I don't know
Yes.
if I don't know how we're numbering these things. I apologize if I did it the other way last time. I forgot.
It's still, I guess it's it's still its own thing, isn't it?
If we call this that we're doing this for yesterday, and if we put July 16th up there, people would be upset because it's not actually July 16th.
It's like we're just trying to get through 2020, man. And you keep resetting it by a day.
Would it be better if we did it July 18th? Would that solve
and
the
then be
problem?
like all the Australians,
Saturday?
then. Yeah,
Can we move it to the 20th?
just for a series of 20s.
Well, supposedly that Nintendo Direct will drop, and then
We can talk
I
about
can
this
I can find out if it's true or not if we just jump ahead a few days. That's a huge rumor thing, so it might not even happen.
Maybe we just start referring to it by week numbers. Like it's like ChillPoint for 2020 week 26 or something like that.
That feels like math I don't want to do.
Week 29. I
One
know
of the
that
things
because that's how James labels the channels in our Slack.
Right, exactly.
Anyway, hey, today
Hey.
we're, for those of you who haven't seen this before, this is where we talk about the episode CheckPoint that went up yesterday, and also talk about some of the other stories that we may not have talked about in that episode of CheckPoint. So, yeah. To begin with, some of the stories that we did talk about in episode of CheckPoint, which you should have watched by now, by the way. If you haven't,
this stream involves homework
Didn't
now,
leave you behind.
and we expect you to have done the reading.
yes. Don't just watch the movie of it. You gotta read it.
Yeah. Should have been sending out the scripts. You could see the minor changes. For example, here's a little bit of behind the scenes. I didn't mean to say children and other small animals. I meant to say children and other slow animals.
They're slow animals, not small
That's
animals.
exactly right. It wasn't the other part that was the problem. It was the small versus slow. And I'm a little disappointed I didn't get slow, but the joke still works, I think.
Children qualify as both slow and small, so I think that's
Exactly.
fine. Yeah.
I really wanted to say, like, by, encapsulating slow children, and I'm like, oh, people might have a problem with me saying slow children, so, yeah, okay, that's fine.
We are, of course, discussing the Sims story, which you would know if you did your reading.
Mm-hmm. Which, nifty
Nifty knitting.
Nifty knitting.
I figured you'd be into the nifty part, Paul.
Oh, yeah, yeah. They're bogarting my style.
Do we want to start with that story then?
Sure, why
Even
not?
though it's not really in the right order,
Sure.
but
This is
I mean,
anarchy. We can do it however we want.
It's kind of
Team Chaos, yes.
it's kind of cool that it's the stuff packs are a thing where they just say to the community, it's like, wait, we want you to buy something, so why don't we just ask you what you want to buy?
I mean,
And people voted and said we want knitting.
I'm surprised. Like, they. I mean, The Sims has been around for a long time, so they have some experience in this. Because of course, the tell us what you want and we'll make it can go very wrong, as has been demonstrated many times before. But I assume that they have a suitable amount of oversight on the matter.
I mean, you're only given choices, I think. So
Yeah, it's not an open essay form.
I
It's
certainly
like,
hope
please tell us in 500 words what you want from The Sims.
As Heather was pointing out too, though, it's that because people on YouTube, as is their wont, immediately started to bitch about the idea because they were like, "I bet you they don't get to have any crochet. It's all going to be knitting, isn't it?" And us crocheters have been ignored again. And your take was like they would put the hooks in, but they would screw it up because they would probably still only show 2 needles. They wouldn't make like a new animation for crochet. And that everything wouldn't look like it was crocheted in the first place.
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't.
Well, no, of course not. Even if they managed to get the hooks right, that somehow they would absolutely make it so all the textures looked knitted.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the good example
Are we
of
still there?
no matter. Yeah, I
Paul,
can see.
can you hear us?
I can hear and see you. Can you not hear and see me?
Uh-oh.
Great.
Everything.
I think we dropped out of the Discord.
Everything is fine on my end.
We're still in the Discord.
No, I mean, I think we dropped out of the call. Oh, they can hear us.
No, they can hear and see us.
I'm sorry.
Why can't we hear Paul, though?
I think we just might have to close the call with Paul and come back. The other
It's
thing
okay.
is still open.
I'm not saying anything particularly interesting.
The link you sent us.
Yeah, it's right here.
Yeah, so that's fine. I think we just have to drop out of it. Paul, we're just going to drop on our end from the Discord thing and come back. But we're probably still around.
The thing with knitting, like the thing with this, with the doing the stuff that you're
still watching the stream.
I know.
It's weird.
doing the stuff with your community is, I mean, as the crocheting thing indicates,
Okay.
there will always be someone who's like
Sorry,
not
everybody.
quite there. Oh, Maricat says Discord is down, which you guys can't hear me.
Discord didn't actually close. Crap.
Saying that.
It's probably in the toolbar. Oh, yeah, there it is.
Here. This is awkward.
I just couldn't hear Paul anymore. Where the heck do I keep Discord?
Because they can't hear me, but we can hear them and can hear both. And apparently Discord is just down. So that's
also
fun.
just got a tweet from Peach saying Discord is very broken worldwide, which is not helpful.
Oh, God.
So here, let me. I'm actually gonna do. Let's do some live troubleshooting here. Isn't that fun?
Paul is not broadcasting his Discord out. So we need to be, for anyone, I don't know if Paul's talking right now, but we need to be able to see what Paul is doing, and Paul is sharing his side of this entire call through Discord, so we have minimal latency.
I'm not seeing him in Discord at all, though, now.
Yeah, and if we jumped onto Twitch, in fact, I could do that right now, we could see what's actually going on camera.
But
And
then
what's-
you can't hear us.
Yeah.
I can hear you, but they can't. Oh dear. And now they're watching.
Oh, he can hear us, apparently.
Okay. Sorry, everybody. Let's get this sorted. Hopefully that link that I just sent to Heather and Beej will allow them to hear me, so that then we can continue this. So this isn't this weird half conversation. It's interesting. I can tell you the system that we're using here to for Heather and Beej to send their video to us. One of the nice things about this is that is the system that Heather and Beej are using to send video to me is a system that actually uses a peer-to-peer connection. So that way, even though Discord or any other service could be down, it's actually connecting directly to me, and they're just sending their video directly to me. So theoretically, unless the internet itself is
attempting to
down,
load the video stream, but it also says the stream is not available yet, or an error has occurred.
why did that? Let's try this again. Does this work now? Can you see me? Wow. Why would that be broken? Yeah. This is great. Sorry, folks. We can. Is my. You guys are not. We're not dropping any frames or anything right now, right? Because I'm. My internet actually messed up right now? Wow.
Paul, if you quit from Discord and then go back into Discord, can we just start the Discord share again?
To answer your question, Beej, I cannot connect to Discord. Discord is broken at the moment. There's some kind of major internet outage.
I know, there's like a 30-second lag.
Apparently, everything is broken on the internet except for this stream, which is kind of cool, but not useful at the moment. Why is this not working now?
Okay. We managed to get back in. We had to wait.
Wow. Yeah, the general internet connectivity seems to be highly questionable right now, in addition to everything else.
Do you want to take the whole stream down and we just try setting it up from scratch again?
Yeah, I think that is a good idea, Beach. I'm going to do that. I'm just going to try one more thing, and then if that doesn't work, I will do that.
Are we at a minute lag now?
We're at a long. I think we might just be at a longer lag.
Oh no! Oh no!
I am agreeing with the thing you said a minute ago. Yeah, there seems to be some serious... Okay, sorry about this, folks. Fun as this is. Apparently, I saw someone in the chat say it too, but like I have DNS issues that I can't connect to and stuff. So there's something deeper going on than just Discord being down, which is a shame. Anyway, we'll try to figure this out and be back as soon as we can. Bye. Well, I think we're back.
Good. Okay, great.
Using emergency backup Google Meet.
Because for like a brief second when you said, well, I think we're back, our Google Meet froze.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
we were really concerned about it.
Hey,
Thanks for sticking around, everyone.
Hey, everybody. I hope... So, the funny thing is, Bij and Heather's video now is not actually coming through Google Meet. This is still their original video from back before this direct peer-to-peer signal has been rock solid and steady this whole time. But we just can't start any new connections. But
it's like when
existing
when
connections
Twitch,
are fine.
When Twitch has a problem and you see people are like, oh, I can't get online, but you're still online somehow, you don't go offline.
No, you hang in there. You stick around for the people who still made it.
And apparently, from what Chad is saying, you guys can see us. So maybe don't refresh the page, though.
Yeah.
I guess we'll talk about video game news, because there's nothing else interesting in the world happening right now. Not like major internet outages.
Somebody did say that 1111 was still up as a DNS thing, so who knows what, if there's like, I'm sure there's not like a root DNS cascade failure or something ridiculous like that. It's probably something else happening.
I was just saying to Bij and Heather, I'm confident in the knowledge that there's a lot of people losing a lot of money every second that the internet, this kind of mass outage is happening. So there's a lot of very, very smart people working very hard and swearing profusely right now. So yeah, let's, I think we were talking about, the Sims knitting sweaters.
Yes.
And how that's a very silly thing for them. Well, it's more just that it's like the user-generated content aspect of it is, or not user-generated, but like user-decided on content. But I love that that's something that the Sims can do. That they're just like, yeah, you know what? We'll do a thing about knitting, and now your Sims can knit. And it's not just like there's like a little knit. There's like a different animation for that they add to like the idle animations that the Sims can do. There's like a whole infrastructure around knitting that they created. Like, you can knit you can knit hats and scarves and cozies for various things. You can sell them on Poopsie, which is their Etsy thing. Which the fact that that they felt that Sims needed an Etsy clone in the first place is interesting. Uh-oh. We're bringing in emergency backup Beach.
Beach said he's going to be a while.
Okay.
We're bringing in backup Beach. Yeah.
Yes. Heather is is on both sides and in the middle.
Look, I have a lot of powers. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, she can just teleport from one end of the. Just teleport right through my head. Just. Anyway, so I don't know if there's more to say about The Sims. It's a silly thing but I'm happy that it exists.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very tempted to actually get that and try to make a career path out of that because I'm like, oh yes, I tried to sell things on Etsy once and that didn't work. So it would be nice to play a thing where that does work for some reason.
Have you actually did you used to or currently play Sims 4? Like, were you super into it at one point?
I was really into Sims 3 for a long time. Like and I really liked things like trying to get through the thievery job application stuff because it's just like you pick up a newspaper and it's like, be a thief now, okay, and then you become a bookie somehow out of that. Like, it's just weird, but I find that game to be a huge time sink. So I stuck away from 4 for a while, even though I did absolutely download it when it was free.
You say time sink like that's a bad thing. It's like, yes. I feel like that's part of the marketing for Sims is like, it's a great time sink.
I have other things I have to try to get done. So it's a great time sink. Agreed. It's very good at it. I find it very engaging, and so much more so that I do not do other things ever.
When you can just be puppet master, be like, yes,
I mean,
you will do. Well, I like that
not that different from what I already do.
I like that in the story, B is talking about, the like all the silly stuff with like knitting a giant yarn monster, and then just the casual mention of like the wife leaving for her job as a cat burglar, because of course there are a vast assortment of very odd jobs that Sims can take up. Anyway, other stories. Destiny 2, The Season of Arrivals. Which is not a good name for a season. The season when stuff comes. I mean, I would hope so. Like, I would hope it's a season in which stuff is going to arrive. Because otherwise, what was the whole point? But apparently this, I haven't played, Destiny. I don't really know that much about it. But just from videos and screenshots I've seen, the Prophecy raid looks really neat. It's like, it's not only is it kind of like this weird vaporwave aesthetic, like it's like sort of pastel pinks and purples and stuff. It also has all these like weird puzzles where you have to like use the light and like kill a monster, but only in a certain circumstance and all these things. Which apparently these people who have beat it in 8 minutes basically completely go past. They like use various techniques, one of which involving like what I love, which is the thing with the sparrows. The sparrows are just like the little scooter thing that you can get, and it's basically like you could spawn it and then drive it and you fall, and then you can jump off it and like spawn another one and jump off it and spawn another one, and you can like climb doing it. It's the description of how you actually pull it off sounds quite amazing, but apparently you can like climb by spawning subsequent sparrows or something. It seems very silly. And speaking of silly, Death Stranding urination.
Oh, that was a good story.
Just the Yeah, because of course now that it's on out for PC, people can mess around and see what's behind the veil. Which apparently in the actual like in the game as it's done, like yeah you can't, your camera is like always behind him. You can't move
Yeah, you
around.
can't bring it up.
Although I would, I was actually talking to Graham about this. I was like, do you think? Because there's been a few stories about urinating in
Uh huh.
Death Stranding, and I
I
was
mean,
like,
that is a
it
it is
is
a big mechanic from what
it's
I
a
understand.
surprisingly deep part of the gameplay. But I was thinking, it's like, would journalists, and I'm including us within that realm loosely, be as inclined to write stories about Death Stranding if it wasn't for the fact that Norman Reedus's name rhymes with penis? Is that the killer thing? Is that the thing here that make it just makes for great headlines?
Yeah, I mean, it also made for some good rhymes in the checkpoint story that Graham read. That one made
Yes.
me laugh a lot. I really liked the script for that one.
Norman Reedus's normal penis.
And the idea that the pee comes out of hands now.
Yeah. Yep. He just sits there and just has his hands in front of him and just the pee comes out of there somewhere. Just don't worry about it too much. And the last story that we talked about during the stream or for the episode was this whole thing about the U.S. Army esports team, which, to be clear, isn't a new thing. The U.S. Army has had an esports team for quite a while. It's just sort of gained more prominence. People have been looking at it more closely recently. In the I guess fallout or the since there was that whole the Discord thing that we talked about going ooh we then and then that sort of snowballed into people actually like starting to pay a little more attention to the U.S. Army esports team, which it's this very odd sort of trying to pretend that it isn't what it clearly is, which is like a recruiting thing. Like they're trying to sort of be like, oh no, these are just like people who happen to be in the military and also enjoy playing video games. And so they're
I
just doing
mean,
it on their own time when they're not. Like,
I wouldn't doubt there was like a time before they made anything formalized where there were people who were in the army who happened to like games and commingled with other people who liked games and then talked to them about being in the army because that's what people do when they socialize. They talk about their lives. And then they were like, hey, what if
yeah,
we just did thing?
some general like walked in and be like, what are you doing here? So you're saying that other people watch this and do things that you tell them to do. Interesting. Yeah, and I mean, obviously, America's Army has been out for years and years and years and years and years, which is a first-person shooter video game that the military made. So, I mean, that's nothing new either. There's been a couple of interesting updates or additions to the story, actually, since we did it. I guess kind of because of the article, not because of our thing, but because of the article that we reported on.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're not solely responsible, but I think the general media in attaching themselves to that has been helpful. in perpetuating that,
Yeah, it's certainly getting more
bringing attention to
bringing
it.
attention to it, including this thing about doing giveaways
Yeah,
for an Xbox Elite Series 2 controller, which apparently just don't happen. Like, they don't go anywhere. You click on the
yeah,
link, and as we said in the link that they have with the like just the normal like goarmy.com/esports has at the top like enter to win with no other information. Like
yeah.
I think it's like enter to win, the army.
Do you want to win a position in the army?
Yeah, it's
Well,
like
have we got the contest for you?
to enter to win, war. If enough people enter, we can win. Yay! I guess. Win at being in the army. And then win or an appointment with a recruiter. And you know what? Everybody wins. Because
Yeah,
that's literally what you're signing up for.
Yeah, I feel
that's
like they
that's
don't.
not a trick. It's explicitly what you're signing up for.
I feel like they don't mention that part because then who would want to enter your contest?
I mean, yeah.
I mean, I assume there's someone. I'm assuming there are other people who normally would like to join without being coerced into thinking they're about to win some sort of a what was it, a controller?
Yeah, yeah. Maybe the recruiter like comes to your house and like brings you the controller. Like, here's the controller. Now, let me talk to you for a bit.
I specifically don't enter contests that are like, if you enter this thing, you have to like also talk to a human being.
Yeah, that's always a trick.
Yeah, no.
Ha ha ha! I'm not. It's like, I see you. You're not going to fool me into talking to a person. Ha ha! Screw you. And then there's actually been an additional slight wrinkle to this. Is we talked about that they've been not surprisingly, I would say, fairly active in quickly banning people who are being I would say probably deliberately trolling in terms of trying to instigate something with posting stuff about the like wiki page for the army war crimes or various things like doing sort of things to be deliberately inflammatory, and there's been this isn't an official thing, but there has been some question that a couple of constitutional lawyers have brought up that because the military is part of the government, obviously, then it actually banning people from their Twitch chat is actually has different connotations than a normal stream or a normal channel banning people from their Twitch chat. That because it's the government, there's that actually starts getting into First Amendment stuff for real, not just like not just the concept of freedom of speech, in general, which is something that a lot of people feel like is an important part of the sort of discourse, which I generally agree with. But this is actually talking about the literal First Amendment being violated, which doesn't actually happen online that often. It's actually it's because it's specifically to do with the government.
Yeah, like being able to criticize the government and having that kind of speech is generally considered allowed.
Yeah.
So, well, okay, in North America, as far as I understand, I don't know about other countries.
Well, I mean, that's where the First Amendment is. It's not.
Well, that would be the state specifically. I'm sure
Yeah.
you have something in Canada that is also of a similar
sort of
thing somewhere, but we get inundated with a lot of American TV, so
Canada has things that are sort of similar, but it's complicated. It's not spelled out quite so dramatically in Canadian.
We don't get to yell
law.
things like amendment.
Yeah, it's sort of all amendments.
Yeah,
'Cause
like
it's all
pleading the
based on,
fifth
like-
for us is a little weird.
It's all based on English common law, which is basically just laws and laws, and it's precedents built on top of each other for thousands of years, hundreds of years. That's true. The Charter of Rights and Freedoms does actually say, Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms does actually say stuff about free speech. It's not worded in the same way, but it is a similar concept.
Yeah.
Anyway, as some people in the chat were saying that Trump actually had the same problem with his Twitter. He can't block people on Twitter for the same reason, which is kind of an interesting. So it's not the medium, it's the person that's actually doing it. It's the important part. Boop, 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 boop. All right. Other stuff that we didn't talk about during the episode.
What story you want to dig in on?
Let's. Oh yeah, there was also the guy playing Mario 64
Right.
with a modded Kinect, which it's great because it looks like. And I think I would probably do the same thing, that if I was like, oh cool, Mario 64, you would sort of forget how much jumping there is in it. But
I mean, I guess having played games like Crypt of the Necrodancer with a DDR pad and some other things, I feel like I would have avoided that kind of a thing myself. But I could definitely see someone being like, oh, this would be easy and neat to do, and then regretting some choices later, maybe. Or at least finding it difficult.
Yeah, but anyway, that was. I encourage you to watch the whole video of his playthrough, because it is pretty spectacular and super neat. Actually, speaking of sort of Mario, there's this amazing Lego set
It's so good.
of a Nintendo. It's like a Lego Nintendo, like a original Nintendo. It opens and everything. Like the thing opens and there's a Lego cartridge that you can stick in, and there's a Lego controller, and there's a
Best part.
Lego TV with Lego Mario on it, and it scrolls.
Yeah, it's got a little crank for the scrolly bit.
And it's not just like there's like a sheet of paper that scrolls to show the background. I think the background is also Lego.
Yeah,
that, like,
so
folds.
There's a video that they showed of a guy putting it together, like little parts of it, and it looks like a bunch of very flat pieces that are attached to some sort of a round spin thing that he puts inside the TV and then covers up with more Lego. Like,
so it's like a conveyor belt.
yeah,
It's sort of like a sideways conveyor belt, but the components of it are actually pieces of Lego. They aren't flexible, so it's only the connections between them are flexible. It's pretty awesome. I know at least 2 or 3 members of the Loading Ready Run crew have been lusting after it, so who knows? Maybe there'll be some sort of building stream of it.
I would be okay if like the Nintendo system itself wasn't part of it. Like, to me, it's the TV portion that's the really interesting part, because if you look at pictures of it, it's also got like RCA ports in the back where things can technically plug in, and
they could sell like different things to put into it.
I feel like there
games.
are definitely going to be people who once they get a hold of the set will maybe find ways to substitute out pieces for something else that might be interesting as well.
Didn't you challenge James to to have a build off for it?
No, I said I would probably stream it at home because it would be a fun chill thing to do, like a puzzle. Then James said chill streams weren't cool or something, and that we should get rid of the chill stream and do a race, and I told James that if he wanted to race, he could be all panicky and fast with his build, and I'd just chill, and I'd buy him some ice cream when he wins, because I don't care. I just want to build some cool Lego.
Or maybe you win anyway, and that sort of slow and steady wins the race kind of thing. Like he
And
builds
then I
it,
don't have to buy him
and
ice cream.
he builds it, and it ends up like upside down, and he has to take it all apart and rebuild it.
I'll just nick his instructions.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then he can have the Iron Man challenge.
And
He
just
seems to really like challenges, so I think it'll be fine.
cover the whole thing in cooking oil, like we did that one. Oh, cleaning those.
I bet I could goad him into doing it. I bet I could get him to cover his own Lego in cooking oil.
Be like, James, you should do this. He's like, damn it, I guess I should.
No, it looks like a really cool set. They also have a thing, like, because they're doing the other Lego sets with the chunkier Mario that's got some electronics in it, and apparently you can put that on top of the TV so that when you have the there's like a Mario on a stick with kind of like a suction cup thing, so that it knows when to move out of the way and jump over stuff when you're spinning the TV. And if you have this other electronic Mario on top of the TV connected, it will make all of the appropriate sounds for when your Mario goes over stuff. Yeah, it's like really quite interesting. It's a little outside of what you expect for Lego as well, which I know some people are put off by on those other sets.
I feel like that is just like one of those things where someone was like, "Can we do this?" And they're like, "Yeah, we can. Let's do this."
And
we got nothing to do.
It's the 35th anniversary of Mario, which they also did just announce a new Mario Monopoly and Mario Jenga set recently. Paper Mario just came out. There's been huge rumors about like compilation games that are going to get.
I remember Mario Jenga being quite cool looking, actually.
The one they showed off recently looks neat. It's kind of like a castle looking thing. And the new Mario Monopoly is, if you look at the board, shows different generations of Mario around the board itself, which is kind of neat graphically, but it is still Monopoly.
It's true, yeah. I mean, you can never get away from that. That it's like, no matter what you do to it, it's still Monopoly.
Yeah, it's still Monopoly.
All right, other stuff. WoW Shadowlands. There's this interesting article on Polygon about WoW Shadowlands, which is the upcoming or just came. I guess it's the current expansion for WoW, but it's not like fully out. They're adding stuff as it goes. And one of the interesting things about one of the big things about it, or upcoming, is it? Okay, anyway. One of the interesting things about it is that apparently there's going to be more serious choices, as in choices that have a big impact on what your character is like and what they can do, trying to sort of make it more RPG-ish.
Yeah, and have more effect on the world.
And have
from
it more...
from the sounds of things.
And so, but of course, they have to balance that with the thing, like, you know, I chose to be this thing, and now a whole bunch of time later, I can't, you know, my build isn't as optimal as it could be. I need to reset my stuff or whatever.
Yeah. Well, there was a thing in the article of someone saying that the idea of like you set your build if it's permanent, and then you want to join guilds or whatever, but what they need is a different kind of build, and you can't have that build now, and is that something you want? Or there is the aspect of video games of fashion versus min-maxing,
right?
That kind of thing, or playing what you want the character to be, as in an RPG setting of this is what my character would do versus what is actually good in gameplay.
Yeah, which I mean, like I feel like, I don't know. I don't play a lot of WoW, but I feel like there's more like function, like the mechanical functional aspect of your character is more important than the I guess, role playing aspect of the character in for most people anyway, unless you're on like a special role playing specific server. But like people will choose a character and choose a build that they like in terms of the play style, but not maybe necessarily like my character is a gnome and is going to be doing this kind of stuff, but doesn't like fighting people or whatever, you know. Maybe I'm incorrect in that, but that's the impression I get anyway with the people I've seen playing WoW, is that it's more about the how you want to play it as opposed to what you think your character would want to do.
Yeah, and I did think it was interesting that they talked about the design decision of wanting to do these things where people have more environmental things happen and more changes happen depending on what they pick that do kind of become permanent, but they also don't want people to regret the choices that they make. And I mean, of course you don't, because then for a game like WoW, where someone's put a lot of investment into a character, I imagine that would be kind of thing you might rage quit over.
Yeah. Yeah, the I mean respecking in any RPG, respecking can be a somewhat controversial concept, right? Like some players are like super against being able to respec because you know they feel that that's part of the game is that you have to live with your choices, and some people are like, I just want to have fun and play the thing. I don't want to have to. I don't have to. Don't want to have to restart in order to try a different build. It's different ways to have fun, I guess. Some of which are wrong. Speaking of people playing games wrong, in Red Dead Online, people
Right.
people have been protesting the fact that there has been a serious deficit of meaningful updates to Red
Is
Dead
that what they're
Online.
protesting?
Yeah.
I understood that they were protesting, but when I was reading the article, I couldn't really understand why specifically.
Yeah, they think that they're being ignored.
I mean, they probably are. I ignore people all the time.
But to ignore them if they dress up as clowns, because that's what they're doing. Instead of like a bunch of cowboys who are all going around doing cowboys and outlaw kind of things, and whatever, cattle rustling and going to the saloon. I don't know whatever cowboys do in Red Dead.
I think they can play poker. Maybe I think there is a game.
Sounds fine.
I don't play Red Dead, so I assume everything I see on the internet in GIFs, which is some very hilarious things about graphics, people not being able to walk properly, horses doing stuff that horses don't normally do. Seems like a fun game.
I feel like a large portion of my knowledge of a lot of games is based on like animated GIFs found online.
What did the internet tell me about this game? Oh, well, that must be what that game is like.
Anyway, people are dressing up as clowns, and basically not playing. I guess not playing the game properly, but who knows? But they're dressing up as clowns, and not just clowns. There's also people dressing up as jesters and other circus roles, jugglers, mimes.
I mean, if those things are in the game, I don't know if
acrobats.
that could be an incorrect way to play. That seems like a pretty.
I mean, I think
the idea correct way.
The idea is that they're like because there's like clothes and stuff, right? So like they're like building outfits for themselves. Presumably, all you have to do in order to dress up as a mime is do the white face paint and then just like turn your TeamSpeak off.
I mean, given what I've seen of companies that like, especially video game companies where people are like, oh, we won't buy their game, and then they'll know that we didn't buy it because they didn't put a feature in it. and then those companies are like, oh, no one likes our game anymore, I guess we'll stop making it. I feel like that this means is Red Dead Redemption is on track to make a very large piece of clown DLC with even more clowning options. Maybe they can become rodeo clowns and have whatever rodeo clowns do.
That would be an interesting response to this. That it's like they're complaining that there haven't been any updates by dressing up as clowns, and so Rockstar is like, you know what? Fine. Here's an update where we've added more clown options. People are like, no, we wanted actual gameplay updates. God damn it.
You can now make balloon animals. Oh man, this sounds great. I'm up for this. I don't play this game, but maybe I should check it out if I can make balloon animals.
It's now. I was actually thinking about when I saw this story. Is there any real Western movies that are just all clowns?
Not that I've seen.
And
I've
if
seen
not,
a number of them.
why not? Could that be done? Do we need clown westerns?
I would have appreciated it more as a child. Maybe. Maybe not. My dad was very into watching westerns, so I saw quite a few of like few episodes of Bonanza and anything to do with John Wayne in it, who also did some military movies. Not that I was not a thing I cared about. Oh, westerns. I hate them. I thought my dad would have liked Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, just got to find the right video game to appeal to different things, right? I was super into Red Dead 1. Like I enjoyed it. I haven't played the online one, but I have. We have done a couple of stories on the online, different things that people have been doing in the online version. Some of which aren't good, but
I mean, this is kind of what happens when you play video games online.
yeah,
Bad things.
the weird thing
Well,
about
good ones too.
the weird thing about Red Dead Online, even from the beginning, is like it starts from kind of an odd. I mean, it's a little bit like GTA Online, right? I mean, they're made by the same company, but it's this. But like the premise, the base level premise of who you are and what you do in the single player game, is that you're a criminal doing bad things, right?
Right. Okay.
And so you have the situation where, unlike, WoW, where you're saving the world or whatever, you have the situation where you have a world where everybody in the world is effectively a criminal doing bad things. And yet you want them to be, courteous and obey the rules of the actual game and the server, but just to be, bad in the ways that we've set out for you, allow you to be bad, which is somewhat weird.
Okay. So you're allowed to be bad, but still follow the rules.
Yeah.
If you don't be that bad, be this other kind of bad.
And so, like they set up systems. I know they set up systems in Red Dead where if players were actually like griefing other players, there could actually be like a posse. Like you would, if you unprovoked attack another player and kill them, you start showing up on other people's maps.
Right, yeah.
And there's like a bounty out on you, and so other players can come kill you. Which I don't know if it worked that well, but it seemed like a neat way to handle some of that.
I mean, I thought it was it does seem like an interesting way to dole out punishment. It's kind of like is it Dokapon Kingdom? If you try to steal from the store and you do it badly, then suddenly there's a bounty on you and everybody can go and get you for a reward.
Only if you do it badly, though.
If you do it badly, if you're successful at it, you just get the thing, and then the guy's very angry at you.
But I mean,
Or you can wear a mask and pretend to be somebody else when you do it and put a bounty on their head.
oh,
That's the real tech.
that's the big brain move. There's a new Overwatch expansion, or new Overwatch skins are coming out, and this time it is Sigma, who you may remember as being the floating psychic power guy who has bare feet, and therefore was extremely popular with a certain segment of the internet audience for a while. Well, this is Tuesday's or Sigma's Maestro Challenge, where you have to do a bunch of you have to play a bunch of games, and if you win, you get different things. You get player icons, emotes, and if you win 9 times, you get the new Maestro Sigma legendary skin, which he is wearing shoes, dress shoes. He's still floating though, which I like. And he's like all dressed in like a conductor outfit sort of thing. Which is mostly like, it makes sense that he's not wearing shoes in his normal thing because he floats all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't wear socks either then.
Yeah.
It's bare feet all the time.
But this he's decided for the formal occasion of being a conductor, I guess, he's decided to put on shoes.
Well, okay, so if you don't really like wear shoes all the time, that's one thing. But if you're gonna do the dress up game, generally you wanna coordinate. You wanna look the part. I've never seen a conductor without shoes on, so
maybe Tim Minchin. I don't know if he conducts without shoes on, but he. I know he's a conductor, and I know that he often performs without shoes, but I don't know if he does them both at the same time. Spooky wear.
Oh yes, this looked really neat, and I don't
Yeah.
want to play it because it's creepy, but still pretty neat.
Yeah, it's just a fun. It's not an official thing, but it's a fun like WarioWare-esque game that somebody made. It's an online game where you do sort of little WarioWare, like you just like do a thing. You have like a couple seconds to do it. Except it's spookware, and so it's spooky stuff like spell a thing on this Ouija board, or saw through this leg, or pick up this creepy telephone and answer it.
Yeah, find the papers in the woods. I think the thing says there's 10 micro games in it.
Yeah,
which is
So I mean, there's not
decent size for a free. I think it's a free thing, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah. So it's it's a fun thing. I know a lot of people have been lusting after a WarioWare for Switch.
Oh yeah.
But we don't have that yet. But we do have horrorware. And I think that's all the stories.
Just taking a quick look through.
Update.
Yeah.
Update. Somebody mentioned in the chat about that internet outage thing, which I think is resolved now. Apparently, it wasn't anything like nefarious. It was a mistake, or something was messed up on Cloudflare's part. So I'm sure somebody was very unhappy and had to be woken up. Or I guess it wasn't. It was like noon. So hopefully they were. It was new. It's like North America. So hopefully they weren't asleep. But somebody had to have some routing issues. So this kind of stuff happens, I guess.
Yeah.
You hope there'd be more redundancy, but I guess that's the problem, is that sometimes you have automation stuff and redundancy doesn't work out as well.
And there are worse times it could have hit, at least for us personally. Like
exactly.
ChillPoint, at least we still got going. We figured it out. I'm gonna find a way to put that first part on the second part for the VOD, because I still think it's kind of funny.
Some of it anyway. I don't know. There's a lot of it where it's just like me going tap, 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 tap. And you and
I'll put
Beej,
a warning in the description. It'll be like, show starts at
and you and
blank.
Beej just talking to each other, not realizing that we can hear you.
Oh no, I knew you could hear us, but because I couldn't hear you, it's not like I knew if I was talking over you or not.
Right.
That's why I didn't start talking about secrets. I could have started talking about secrets. But I'm good at not
many
doing that.
secrets.
Oh yeah, I've got a lot. I know so many secrets. I know so many of other people's secrets. Just secrets all the way down.
Anyway, thanks everybody for watching. Coming up, assuming the internet is okay, we're gonna have Friday night paper fight. Friday night paper fight. Friday night paper fight. At 5 o'clock, and it is indeed going to be a paper fight because it's going to be Commander. And it's going to be Ben and Serge and Ben Wheeler and Graham, I believe, are going to be playing the Commander.
Yeah, I think that was who we had written down here. Yes. Yep, all of them.
And then nothing currently on the schedule for Saturday. But on Sunday, we got more Kathleen's Island tour. The plan to tour all the islands, probably not tour all the islands, but tour a lot of the islands in Animal Crossing.
Some islands shall be toured.
And on Rhythm Cafe, back to Runner 3. I thought you finished at Runner 3.
Yeah, I did. I also just didn't. I just chose not to correct James when he didn't ask me what we were playing, and when we're gonna be playing a game called Nocturne Prelude, which is a free game on Steam.
So before Nocturne?
I guess so. I'm told it's supposed to be an RPG with rhythm combat.
Ooh.
It's also supposed to be short.
Nice. And then on Monday, Cam is continuing his Bloodborne playthrough, which, from what I have heard, seems to be going quite well. Apparently, he's been really kicking ass against all the bosses. Some of the little mooks are giving him trouble, but then he gets to a boss and just kicks his butt. Sometimes that's how it goes. And then on Monday evening, it is the continuation of our Rasp of Sand adventure with Jeremy and Ian, Matthew, and Andy playing. And who knows, perhaps they will venture deeper into the realm of the Deep Lady. Or maybe they'll die, and that's fine too.
I hear last time they all managed to make it through the whole episode without dying, which seems pretty good. Yeah. Seems like they're getting the hang of it. Or they're all about to die at the very beginning of the next one.
This is the thing. There's that problem with when you're when you play roguelike video games, there is that thing where it's like, it's fine, dying is part of the game and stuff. And it's like, yeah, but I've been playing for a while now, and I'm really getting a handle on it. I don't want to die now.
You ever play a roguelike, and your first run just happens to be really good, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm really great at this game, and then every run after that is just like...
It's like, nope. It'll be like 2 or 3 more runs, and then I'll be done. And then on Tuesday, we're back to Mine O'Clock with James, Uno, and Serge, followed by Talking Simulator, where Cameron and Corey are playing Watam. Watam?
Watam is so good. I'm going to have to watch. I want to see them freak out over that.
And then Ben and Adam are playing Dead Space 3. I guess they finished the Dead Space 2. So they're on to Dead Space 3, which I think Ben was mentioning has like some co-op stuff in it, which could be kind of
Yeah,
cool.
I think they're planning to check out some of the co-op.
So that's neat.
So that could be cool.
Yeah. So thank you, all you awesome people, for supporting us in all the many ways that you do, both here on Twitch and on Patreon, patreon.com/loadingreadyrun, and through the YouTube memberships, all the very fancy things. Speaking of YouTube, actually, by the way, one of the other ways that you help us out is you send us stuff in the mail. And the mail time just went up from a while ago, in fact.
It's from January.
Yeah.
I know we've been kind of backlogged on our mail time. There's been some stuff, but we're getting caught up on it. Hopefully,
a
in
lot
the
of
next couple
stuff.
of months, we'll.
There's a lot of stuff in the pipeline. Mail time sometimes kind of drops to the bottom of the list, but it's there.
It's not the only thing we edit. It's not the only thing I do during the day.
Yeah, we got a lot. There's lots of stuff going on, and but if you were waiting for something that you sent us to be featured on Mail Time, and you sent it in January, perhaps this is the time to look at it.
I can say that I think everything we received up until March got opened. Anything after March, I don't think we've done an actual filming since. So if you sent something more recently, they just haven't checked the mail yet. Also, there hasn't been that much mail recently because things have been weird. So that's okay too.
Although I will say that even during the pandemic, Beach has been checking the mail.
Oh yeah, and it's been picking it up, but they haven't been really opening it.
But we haven't been like opening and doing it. But it's not like the stuff is just going to get like returned because it's at the mail, because it's at the post office. All right, let's welcome the subscribers, starting with Otter Helix. Thank you for subscribing for 42 months. I bet a bunch of otters could form a helix. That would be adorable.
Wompax. 74 months. Wow, that's a large number, really.
Psychopez for 42 months. Thank you very much.
JS1813 for 41 months. Welcome back.
Too Many Knives for 17 months. Too many knives, too many knives.
Too many knives. Pixel Art Dragon for 22 months. That's a palindrome.
Fluff 42. Or possibly Fluff F42. Or possibly Flu 42. Either way, I like that actually. Flu 42 for 3 months.
Shh, dragon. For 30 months.
It's a pixel art dragon. Nadrayachi for 70 months. Thank you.
Ard Rice? Yeah, that seems right. 44 months.
Or Reese, sometimes, I think. Substitute Streamers, gifted by the Maricat. I just pretend that B said that one.
Is that like a streaming service? Is there a substitute you can call on? Like, if we couldn't make it to class?
It's just like a guy, some random person will just come down and like sit in your house and stream.
Okay, maybe I'm less enthralled with that idea. DM Jesus for 7 months. Welcome back. I was cool with it until you said strangers would enter my house, Paul.
Unremitting for 55 months. Maybe you should start remitting after 55 months. Maybe it's time. And thank you for the 50 bits from Xanatos69.
Woot.
All right. We're going to go offline and then come back in like an hour and a half.
And everything will be fine.
Everything will be fine.
It'll be the most perfect stream. I'll have no problems having to take that VOD of Friday Night Paper Fight and fix it and take out commercials. There'll be no weird streaming technical difficulties.
This is all.
It will be perfect.
True. This is all true. All right. Talk to you later.